Hey guys, it's Bash. So I wanted to make a quick update video because that monthly was too short. So I recorded some raw gameplay and decided to talk over it. So if you guys just want to see raw gameplay itself, let me know and I'll upload each battle in its own video. Thanks. Enjoy. First up, I want to address some rather unpleasant rumors that have been spread about the game and its dev team lately, and that is that we steal content from other builds of Fighting is Magic. And that is highly untrue. Everything in Fighting is Magic Mega is made by the Mega team for the game, the build itself. And that I would never look at another build and say, hey, that looks good, I want to do that, but I don't feel like making that myself. Let's take it and put it in our build. I wouldn't do that because, no offense to anybody out there that's making a Fighting is Magic build, by all means don't let this discourage you or anything, but I don't see interest in any other Fighting is Magic builds other than Mega itself and Premium. Less so Premium lately even, because all the updates are menu updates and graphical updates and some small balance changes and updates to OC characters that I personally do not care about. So, airing out my dirty laundry, we do not steal stuff, and I do not care about most other Fighting is Magic builds. By all means, don't let that discourage you, but I'm just being honest. I don't really enjoy the other Fighting is Magic builds. It's fine making this one in the first place. Anyway, so second up, I wanted to address something I get a lot, and that is character requests. So this is very common with any fighting game, any fan game that has multiple characters. You're always going to have like, hey, are you going to do this in the game? You're going to put this character in? And I can't tell you if I'm going to put some characters in. I don't really want to spill that because there's the people that ask for certain characters and I say, no, we're not doing that. And there's people that ask for other characters and I don't respond, so that kind of is automatically a sign like, ooh, he's not telling me that, sir. Give me this a character. But in the last monthly, we got a new menu design. Yes, we have 4 slots open, and those 4 slots are not 4. It's actually 2. 2 of those slots have already been decided by you guys, the community. One was for Starlight Glimmer and Sakura. I forgot to list them in monthly number 3. Please don't hate me. Anyway, but actually, the other week, I actually saw a comment that was asking if we could make Flash Sentry a character in Fighting is Magic. And I'm actually going to answer this guy's comment. I won't list his name, but you can probably find it if you look hard enough. Anyway, but I'll answer this right here. I'm not going to put Flash Sentry in Fighting is Magic for multiple reasons. One of those reasons being he is not canon to the My Little Pony universe, to the canon show. He does not have enough character development in the Pony world to be a character. If it were a Quest for Girls fighting game, then he probably would be a thing. And the third thing is that he is generally unliked throughout the fandom. So, sorry, but no Flash Sentry. Not actually sorry. I don't want to make him anyway. I don't like him as a character. Wow, okay. Alright, and then another one that came up on the Facebook page is about Derpy. This is one I get a lot, is from Derpy. Very recurring in inbox. Derpy, right now, is not coming to Mega. The dev team have discussed this multiple times and decided to not include Derpy because none of us could come up with good movesets. And for God's sake, please don't send me a million messages that are suggestions for Derpy's moveset, because I'm not gonna listen. I'm not focusing on Derpy. She's not in the build. You can do that yourself. We've got enough on our plate as it is, and we've already got a solid character roster of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have a 14 character roster, and if we do continue, that's going to be up to how popular this gets and how high the demand for new characters is. By all means, if after Sakura people still want like a new character and we can come up with a solid moveset for that character and it makes sense and it sounds appealing to work on, we might do it. That's not a guarantee, but we might. See, the CMC, everyone on the development team was afraid. Full disclosure, by the way, this is just a full disclosure on the dev team, a whole behind the scenes thing. When I launched the poll, literally everyone was upset that I put the CMC in there because They were going to be hell to program, they were going to be hell to animate, they were going to be hell to beta test because of how goddamn complicated they are with the 3 different characters in one character. So I told them that I put them in there because I didn't want to make them either. I'm a main programmer. I didn't want to program CMC. But I put them in there because if the community wanted them, they would get them. And that's how we all agreed that that made sense, because this is a game about appealing to the fandom. So that's what we're doing. We have most of your community input, and we get a lot of character suggestions. And I'm going to put a list of characters here that will not ever have a chance, not even a slim nail, like a fiber of a fingernail. They do not have that small of a chance of getting into fighting the Magic Mega. And these characters are Scooter, Zoggojack, Sweetie Bot, any character from Creepy Dimension or any OC that has ever existed and is not in the canon universe of My Little Pony. I know a lot of people get off on having like evil characters like Evil Ryu or Oni or Shadow Jago or Fukua. I guess you can be counted as an evil character. I don't know, but I know a lot of you people like they like that. You guys really like that because it's like, ooh, it's more edgy. Don't say you don't. That's true. Most of the people that like those characters are like, oh, he looks cool, we're going to use him. He has the word evil in his name. We use him. But we're not going to do like evil Twilight Sparkle or Rainbow Factory Rainbow Dash or Zoggojack. Actually, full disclosure, this is a little another behind the scenes thing. Mega was originally going to include an OC because it was going to have a lot bigger of a story, and we realized we couldn't make it, so we decided to ditch this character entirely. We're going to have a character just named Zolgo, who was the final boss of the game, and it would change forms from the main 6. It mostly revolved around Rainbow Dash's appearance, but it would switch to Twilight and AJ and all that sort of stuff. And I decided to go against that if we didn't have the story, because if we don't have the huge story, she doesn't have a reason to be there. It's an it. I keep calling it she. Not only am I mad at it anymore, it's non-existent. But yeah, we'll see characters and evil things. They're not going to be a thing in Mega, so whatever. Alright, this next topic that I wanted to tackle was something you guys have been asking me about, that it's not related to character quests or whatever, or anything like that. But it's when is Demo 5 being released and what's going to be in it. Demo 5 is going to be almost the definitive edition of the demo of the game. We've got like 5 more versions after that according to the code, but I think it's just going to be like 3 more because it's been almost half a year, I think probably over half a year since the last demo, and we need to get a new one out. But the reason I haven't released it yet, there's enough content to release it yet, and there's a bunch of different stuff. The changelog is going to be ginormous. Excuse me, but there's enough stuff to make a new demo, but what I want to get done is I want to have Twilight's resprite completely done before I release the demo. And that's not our top priority at the moment, so there's an issue there. And I don't feel like going back into an older version of Twilight and making hundreds of changes to Twilight that I made already. I don't want to do those again. Please understand that. Okay, so Alicorn and Twilight, I'm already getting flagged for that. Why is that happening? This game takes place during Season 6, either before or during Season 6. I'm probably going to go during, due to something with people. People have already also got on me about... They've already got on me about, you can't use real magic. Starlight confirmed that. I know that. There's a reason why Trixie uses real magic like that, and you'll see why when the full game is released. Is the story, what little bit of it that we have will be explained when everything's released. Also, that's something else I want to move on, so we'll go on to a separate recording for that one. I get a lot of suggestions for, like, this actually might come as a shock, but I get suggestions for game modes and stuff like that, and different story elements. The way Fighter Maker works is that you have story/arcade mode, versus mode, and team versus. We were able to get the system to give us an options menu instead of team versus, and we managed to work in a stage select system, which took way too long. Back when I worked on TE, that was not fun. From what I heard, that was not a fun time for anybody involved. But those two things were stretching it, and I think Crash's main goal with PE right now is making like survival and arcade mode and story mode all in single player, like a single player mode. I have no idea how she's gonna go about doing that, but by all means, if she wants to try, let her. So what we're gonna have is arcade mode, versus mode, and option mode. So anything other than that would be overkill, I think. Well, at least for a game as simple as this one. So yeah. So all in all, what this video was is just basically telling you what the fandom has been asking of me, what I'm going to do for the fandom, and all that kind of stuff. I have made a decision that I'm going to keep Coop on the monthlies with me, because it's a lot more comforting to have someone there to tell me if I screw something up, to have someone who also reads on the script, that I don't have to read everything and get a dry throat and all that. It makes the whole process a lot easier, so he's probably going to be on. Maybe we'll have some other members of the team get on here and talk with me. Maybe we'll have more than two. I don't know. We'll have to see. Thank you guys for joining me on this video. I'll see you in the next one. We might have some random gameplay videos scattered about from between now until the next monthly, just showing off some small gameplay stuff. Because right now the game doesn't feel much like something you can get hype about, unless you're looking at like the monthlies aren't super hype. I want you guys to be able to get excited for this game, so I'm going to be showing off gameplay, and you can show that off to your friends and be like, hey look, this game's being made, it looks cool. So I'm trying to put up more gameplay videos, just pure gameplay. So yeah, expect gameplay videos every now and then, every other week or so maybe, I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Stay cool.